Are you someone that desires to use your resources for philanthropic endeavors or charity work or something like that? And you want to make sure that that's a part of your life. But one of the things that I realized is there is a way to do it that does not allow you or enable you to exhaust yourself. In this short video, I'm going to show you how to effectively build yourself so that you can do the philanthropy and the charity work that you've dreamed of for the rest of your life. Now, this may sound selfish and it may sound crazy to some, but you can't give from an empty cup. You cannot give from a place that you don't have. You can only help people from the place of your abundance and not just from what is sustaining you. Because one of the things that I realized is there are people right now who are not where they should be or where they want to be because they've done more and more and too much for people and they did not have boundaries with their resources. When you don't have boundaries with your resources, you bring yourself into a place whereby you find yourself struggling and everybody else is taken care of, but you yourself are not. And it's a dangerous thing and a dangerous game to play. And it's not even really a game, it's a dangerous way of living when you try to help people before you've helped yourself. Now, that sounds very strange, but I want you to really think about this. If you have $1,000 and you need $1,000, otherwise, if you don't have this $1,000, all of your bills won't be paid. And your friend, cousin, brother, auntie, uncle, whoever it is, needs 500 of those dollars. If you go and give this person $500 because you love them, you yourself are putting yourself behind. So now you have to make up that $500 deficit in ways that are unimaginable because you've overextended yourself and did not have boundaries with your resources. And yes, I understand that you want to help people, you want to love people, you want to serve people, but it does not make sense to put yourself in a negative situation or a situation whereby you are struggling for the sake of someone else's emergency. It does not make sense. You always get those, can I borrow this amount until next week? The question you should ask, what's the difference between now and next week? And it's not being insensitive, it's not being callous toward or a lack of empathy. You don't have that um towards them. It's more so you are a steward over your own domain and your resources. Yes, you are supposed to serve people and help people and give to people and 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 partner with people in order for them to become better. However, at the same time, you must consider, am I going to be able to sustain myself if I do this? Is Am I putting myself at a disadvantage in doing this? Am I going to be struggling if I do this? Am I not going to be able to invest where I'm supposed to so that I can do more for people if I do this? So in the meantime of your building, of your business, of your financial resources, it does not make sense to put more effort in helping people in their emergencies if you yourself are in one. If and this is in our culture, there's extremes. There are the people who are massively independent and have no care for people, and then you have those people who are codependent upon people. But then you have those people who understand the balance between hyper independence and codependence, and that's the idea of interdependence. Interdependence means that we work together to get a result, but most of the people who are depending on you are not cannot do anything for you, but also there is only a conversation when they need something. So you're exhausting yourself. You are pouring yourself out into all these different family members, and you don't have boundaries. And now you're mad at yourself for the financial situation that you're in. You can't be mad at anyone else but yourself when you choose not to have boundaries. Now, the boundary, people, and this is the conversation that must be had when it comes to financial stewardship. When we're talking about money, boundaries and money and boundaries, right? The boundary itself is for me. It's for me. I am binding myself to a specific um um decision or limitation for this specific period of time until I get to a specific goal. Okay. So my boundaries are this. If I have not paid X, Y, and Z, I am not giving anything to anybody else. If my bills are not taken care of, I'm not paying for anyone else's bills. If I myself am not, or am, if I'm in a deficit, I can't help someone out of theirs. Why? Because it doesn't make sense. Now, you may be asking the question, well, what about the generosity that comes? You're generous when you have the resources. And if you want to become more generous, one of the things that you have to real and this is not talking about, and I want you to understand this. This has nothing to do with what you do specifically for God and everything. This is not. I'm talking about when you're dealing with people who are always depending on you. Being generous is amazing, but being generous unto your own demise is a lack of wisdom. I'm going to say it again. Being generous is great, but being generous unto your own demise and deficit is not wisdom. Why? Because if I'm starving, I can't help no one else. It doesn't make sense. So let's how do we do this? You need to stop believing that you are everyone's savior. That it's your responsibility to help everybody. because that mindset, that superhero mentality is causing you to be at a disadvantage. Meaning, you have to learn how to strengthen your no in the time that you are building something. So, as you are building your business or as you're building yourself up financially, yes, continue to tithe, continue to sow, continue to do all the things that you do for God and all that stuff. I'm 100% in agreement with that. However, comma, when it comes to everything else, it's a no. It's a no. Because now, if you give someone or let someone borrow something from you, now they're your slave. So when they don't give it back to you, it causes the relationship to be out of whack. So now people say, "Oh, can I borrow $300 for whatever?" Da, 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 da," and you let them borrow it. Now they're your slave. Now, what's required in a borrowing situation is interest. It's interest. So I'm giving you a loan of 300. Now you technically don't owe me 300. You owe me 300 plus interest. But if I just give it to you and not think about it, I've disconnected myself from the money. And I because a gift, when I give something to somebody, I'm not giving it in with the expectation of it returning back to me. That's the difference between giving someone and letting someone borrow something. I hope I'm making sense to you. So how do you build yourself up to a point to where you can give to anyone that you want to? That you can do, that you can give to the poor, that you can help the homeless, that you can do um help your family members, and you can do all those great things. The first thing that you need to do is build yourself. Build your finances. Make sure that you have the amount of money that you need to be saved. Make sure that you have your investments in order. Make sure that you don't just have cash, but you have cash flow. Because there's a difference between just having cash. Having cash does not mean that it's flowing, because cash is not king and neither is credit. But cash flow is, because when there's a cash flow, there is a consistent system and process of a flow of money. And soon we'll talk about how to build your cash flow. Once I've done all those things and I'm financially free, now I can focus on the philanthropy, because I'm not worried about feeding myself. I'm not worried about how things are going to get paid. I'm not worried about the bills that are coming. I'm not worried about those things. But now I need to focus my attention. Once I've built myself, now I can focus my attention on the people that I need to help. Why am I telling you this? Because some of you right now are in a place of lack because you've overextended yourself. You didn't provide yourself with the boundaries, so people took advantage of you. And it wasn't their fault that they took advantage of you. It was your fault because you allowed them to. Okay. So, in the process of you building a financial empire, consider telling people no, and that being your last word. Not right now. No, not it's not within my priorities right now. Unfortunately, no. Because if I build my no and I tell myself yes, by the time I've told myself yes enough for myself, I will be able to help anybody that I want to help. So I'm not telling you to be a stingy being or a stingy person. Mm-mm. I'm telling you to be wise in how you deal with the money that you have until you get to a place to where you can do what you want with the money. Am I clear? If I'm clear, I want you to type I'm clear or you're clear. So let's go back to this. The first step in being able to help anyone that you want to is being able to first help yourself. I need to know how to make money, accumulate it, preserve it, and then distribute it. As I'm making and multiplying money and I'm preserving it, I'm learning the different techniques in multiplication, the different techniques in taxes, the different techniques in saving, the different techniques in retirement planning, different techniques in insurance planning. And so I'm building a financial empire for myself that once I'm built up and I have the assets that are greater than my liabilities, now I can focus on I can help these specific group of people. But here is what you should always remember when you're helping people. The purpose of helping people should be to help them for good, to help them get out of something. Because if I give you a quick fix, you'll keep coming back to me. One of the reasons why I do so much content and community service content is because this is my way of serving people who may not be able to pay me yet. So I'm showing you the different steps and the methods and the metrics and the systems and the processes that are good, that work in order for you to build yourself up so that you can then, if you want my services, you can use them to your advantage. That makes total sense. So me publicly giving of what I know is my form of helping those who may not necessarily be able to afford my services yet. The same is true with you. If you want to help anyone, the first step that you want to take is learning how to do it for yourself first. That is the priority. And once you do it for yourself, then you can help someone else. Because here's the point of helping someone. You don't want to give people shots, get them high off of the money that comes to them or whatever it is. You want to take the burden off of them because you haven't really helped someone until you remove the burden from them. So if someone is consistently asking you for money, you need to ask yourself, okay, should I help them by giving them money or should I help them by giving them wisdom? Because it's one thing for me to give you fish. It's another thing for me to teach you how to fish. So one of the reasons why I don't do one-on-ones anymore and I don't do free one-on-ones is because I'm just giving you something that you have no intent to invest into. So if you use my free content and actually apply the pressure to it, you could potentially take this content and turn your entire life around. But if you don't, that's totally your decision. I hope that makes sense. And so the purpose of actually helping people is not for them to keep coming back to you for the help for the same thing. It's for you to help them get out of where they are and position them into a place where they're able to then help themselves and help other people in the process. That is the process. There's a story in the Bible about a man at the gate of Beautiful. It's in Acts 3. And this story is about a man who was a beggar. He was begging at the temple. And you would think that a good Christian people would just give him money, and that's perfectly fine. But instead, And remember, this man, not only was he a beggar, but he was lame in his feet. So instead of Peter giving the man money, he gave him healing. So instead of me giving you money, I'm going to give you a strategy that can help you make money on your own. Because it's better for me to give you what you actually need so you will never need me again than for me to give you a quick fix and you keep asking me for the same thing. So the answer is no, I'm not giving you money, but what I do have, I'm going to give it to you. And then if you use what I give you, it will make sure that you never have to ask me for money again. So I want to have um different organizations that teach financial literacy and different things like that in places that are urbanized areas and less fortunate areas. However, while I want to do that, I'm also thinking of the practicality behind people, because people only pay attention to what they invest into. What did I say a few weeks ago? People who don't pay attention. People who pay attention. And people who pay a lot of attention. Where your heart is, your treasures will be also. So whatever I deem as important or valuable to me is where I'm going to put my time, my energy, my efforts, my money, my attention, my focus, my everything. Because I don't want to just help people just um for their simple financial situation. I want to help them get out of it for good. So when you read my books or you watch my content, the purpose of it is so that you can be helped for good and never need me again to give you something for free. So I say all this to say, while you're building, say no. But once you've built something, when you've helped yourself, help someone else, but help them for good. Don't just keep giving your resources away and giving and giving and giving, especially to people who are codependent. If you continue to give and give and give and give and you are exhausted and they are still in the same place, you are wasting your resources. Imagine this. There's a what do you call it? A saying, don't beat a dead horse. That's what we do with people. We keep trying to do the same thing for them and they're not moving. And so you have to then ask yourself a question. Do I keep giving them money? Do I keep giving them this? Do I keep giving them that? Or do I say no and put parameters behind my gift or what I'm going to do for them? The parameter for me is no, I'm not giving you money, but I will show you how to get it for yourself. I hope this helps you be better or wiser in how you give to people. Like I said before, what you do for God, what you do for your church, that's totally different. Whatever that's different. But when we're talking about when we're dealing with people who keep asking us for stuff and keep begging us and beckoning us for money, we can't just be yes men just because they have an emergency. Their emergency is not your emergency, especially while you are not in the place financially to actually be able to support them in the way that they need support. My name is JaQuan Gamble. I hope this sobered you and made your mind focus on telling people no. Because when you learn how to tell people no and tell yourself yes, you will never not have good success. And part of that good success is being able to pull people out of stuff for good. I hope to see you soon. Peace.